we start with the topic. I just have an ice-breaking activity that is very simple, just to make you move from your place, or maybe make you move your hands from static to kinesthetic mode. We have an activity. I have these sheets. I will be distributing, not to everyone, like a few of you. Okay, then you can see this link alongside, stapled to the corner of this drawing paper. You have the topic inside it. Okay. You have to see the topic. It's a request that you don't tell the topic to anyone. It might be drawing, writing something. It's all mentioned in that. You will do it in as fast as possible, like in 5 to 10 minutes, and give me back. Okay? And nobody's name will be revealed, so you can do the way you want it. You need not be perfect or very good. Nobody will compare it. Really? Don't discuss the topic. Sunil sir. Sunil Ravid sir. Yes. Please take me pencils also. Take this. Whomever I give, please give this pencil.
Yes, anybody want pencil? No one?
Yes,
Kshitija ma'am, just pass her.
Okay, Padma. Give this to Vinita. This is for you. Okay. Lakshmi ma'am. Since I can't move here, it's no colors, please. It will take more time. You just don't discuss with anyone. Do as you want. Okay? In just 10 minutes. So don't think much. You got pencil? Who else? Sapna? And Digvijay sir. Pencil? No, I have enough pencil. है ना? Over? Use your own pencils. You have that, Sanjay. Manjushri, pass this. Wait. Yeah, you can start right. Here. Suvarna ma'am, please. I should not be wasting time. This can be a little away from each other. Okay, I think this is enough. Okay, now whatever has been written in the small slip as a topic, please see that. And right? Do not discuss. The one who is given the task should be doing. Nobody will give idea. Nobody will exchange your topics. Make it fast. Let it be simple. But let's not stretch, because you will be in trouble. It will take a lot of time. So make it in 5 to 10 minutes, and don't copy. Don't copy. Done? Those who are your work. And who else? Hope everybody has given. Now still, Lakshmi ma'am, please. Okay, the activity was like, I'll just show you what I did. I had given only 3 topics. 5 of them have got same topic. One thing I want to show you before I introduce my topic is that I had given nature drawing to 5 of them. All of them have drawn same. Let me just show you. I'll just show you. One mountain house tree. Okay. Mountain is not there. Second one, you can see it's mountain, tree, birds. Okay. Then third one, yeah, mountain is fixed, isn't it? Mountain is fixed. Okay. Then we have a river, tree which is common, yeah, river, and birds and sun. Okay. Next one also almost same. This also same. Rather nobody saw each other, nobody knew who has drawn what, right? Now this is called as colonial system of education. That is, the education model we are following is supposed to be called or is called as prison and factory model. That is, we've been taught like this, isn't it? In our low classes we've been taught whenever it is nature drawing, draw mountain, tree, river, sun, yeah, and birds flying, sometimes clouds, isn't it? So today, since I had to tell you this because we are shifting our education way of system, isn't it? We are changing our education system, and we've been hearing certain words. Now we are used to. Everything seems to be same. Like it is competency-based education. It is NEP 2020 includes all those. Like and here. So it may be about inclusive education, multilingualism, or it may be hands-on experience, or it may be art and creative learning, or experiential learning. Now my topic is what she said, that is experiential learning. Okay. So I start my topic saying from the wisdom of early education, that is Albert Einstein, who says the only source of knowledge is experience. So we actually expect that our students sit and listen to us, and we go on demonstrating or sometimes just talking, speaking, whatever. It's not about it's general. It's about the topic itself rather. So I just show you other works also other than drawing, other topics. Yeah, am I very loud with the mic? Okay. So other topic was making tea recipe. You have to write recipe, tea recipe. Now this is wonderful. Everybody has their own thing to add into the tea. Okay. Somebody added ginger. Somebody made Amrita Tulya Shaha. Okay. Everybody had their own thing, masalas to add to the tea. It is egg se badkar hai. I just went through roughly, but it's different. Not a single one has written the same thing. Same thing is true with another one, bhendi fry. Everybody, somebody has written stuffed bhendi, somebody deep fried bhendi, somebody kurkure bhendi. So bhendi fry can be imagined in different ways. Now, if possible, can you tell me what is the difference between drawing nature, which you just saw, and these activities? The second and third topic, if somebody can.
Actually, the nature drawing, it is superficial. It is something in there. We never teach that way. Before they come in the school, they have something in their mind. But here and on, practically they are
Everybody
doing.
comes from different schools.
No.
Yeah,
But
this is what is expected.
everyone
Expected, yes. one of the sirs to write, they would have made it simple, crisp, and waiting to take oil and put salt, put chili powder, done, right? Since we all are good cooks, right? And we have in years we have been modifying our methods, am I right? Yes, we try. Sometimes it comes out well. Sometimes you get to know that salt is more, your spice is less. You could have added this. Somebody tells you, like your colleague may say or your friend may say, you add this, it will become better, isn't it? So what you sometimes just think that there's too much of salt in your curry. So how do we actually correct it or reflect over it? How can we make it right? Boiled potatoes, onions, isn't it? We know all those things to correct, isn't it? So it's all because of what? Because of experience. Think that we have been just seeing somebody doing. That is, my mother, I just go, I tell her, she asked if she has been asking me to learn cooking, and I just say, I see and learn, I see and learn. Would I be able to do one? No. Because I have experienced myself, I can do. I forget, isn't it? If I just see my mama doing some recipe and I say that I will prepare one day, I will not get to know what time, how many whistles have to be there, or what time it takes, how much rice has to be taken. Simple as cooking rice, isn't it? So everything has to be done and learned. So that's what is my topic, that is experiential learning. That is, we be learning or we learn more and more by experiencing it. So in the school, do we provide it? So when I told you that we follow prison and factory model, this is told by John Dewey. He is called as the father of experiential learning. According to him, not to be negative, it is true that now we are allowing our children to be a little free, think out of the box. Else, during our times, if you remember, we had punishments, we had time slot given for everything. It has to be like that. You are not supposed to sit somewhere else, you are supposed to sit here, you have an arrangement proper, you have a time schedule, you have a break. Like the time for workers in the factory or like in a prison model, it's not told by me rather. It is John Dewey who says that. So we do follow this method because we want discipline in our school, isn't it? So, but then NEP 2020 says, if you don't allow them to move from place, like if I don't give you any activity and I just tell you listen to me only, so it's a tendency that after a while you lose your focus, am I right? And then it becomes a little monotonous and boring, right? So always relating things to what you do and then learn and then reflect. First do experiment it. Then you reflect on what's wrong with your activity. Then redo it. So this is a kind of exercise or steps which is included under experiential learning. So let's go to the next slide. Next slide, I just give a small briefing before I show you the video. It's like we learn naturally. Can somebody talk on this? We learn naturally, right? Without anybody telling us. What do we learn naturally?
We can take the example of childhood.
Yes, from childhood till now, we have learned so many things. So it's like, it's not that for everything our mom took us. She might have guided us, facilitated, hold this and walk. And don't run, slowly you come, something like that. But we did ourselves. We tried crawling, we tried standing, we fell. Someday we didn't try to stand up again because it hurt very badly. Then again you start because you see you can move faster when you're walking than crawling. See certain things, the child observes certain things and the child just learns it naturally. And that way till now we've learned many things. Isn't it? Not only just walking, running. We've learned many things naturally. Let's see this video. It's much better to
The most
understand.
natural and powerful form of learning is through experience, or more precisely, through reflection on doing, also called experiential learning. It's what prima ballerinas do after their performance at the National Opera. But it also happens to boys that are sad because their father got angry when they played football in the living room. By the age of 1, we all had our own painful encounter with experiential learning when we tried to walk, failed, fell, and cried like, well, a baby. And even though this was an unpleasant and discouraging exercise that lasted for months, in the end, we all made it. How is that possible? As soon as we fell and the first shock was over, our brain unconsciously began to make sense out of all the information available to identify how this embarrassment occurred. It remembers that when we pushed ourselves up, everything was fine. Our feet on the floor, our arms in position, and our head and shoulders upright, ready to go. When our upper leg muscles pulled our left foot 12.3% to the front at an angle of 23 degrees, our arms didn't complement the movement, and the ventricles in the inner ear, responsible for static balance, got confused for a second. When at the same moment the cat ran by, our eyes sent an alarming signal to the hippocampus, and we completely lost it. Ouch. Unconsciously, this is how our brain analyzes the relationship of events within our body, or with the environment. It happens all the time as we learn to walk, talk, kiss, function in a fancy office, or dance the salsa. Once we understand the connections between what went wrong, we know what we need to change when we try the next time. Experiential learning can also be used explicitly to learn a new skill, or to become better at what we already love doing. Here is how it works. First, get yourself into a situation to experience. After, reflect on what happened. Then, try to understand the relationships to form an abstract concept. If I do A, I get B. Last, decide what to do different next time. Then do it again. Experiential learning is also believed to be responsible for the fact that musicians generally fare better at most tests, regardless of what they measure. People that practice an instrument not only engage their brain in motor, visual, and auditory areas, but they also learn by reflecting on what they're doing with a fast feedback loop. A wrong tone on the violin sounds too terrible to remain unnoticed. While playing, they therefore not only learn to make music, but also that progress in general comes through practice, reflection, understanding, and repetition. You can use it with your friends or colleagues when working on a project. Silicon Valley startups do it when they tell their developers to get out of the building. After the interaction with real potential customers, the team gets together, analyzes the feedback, and decides what to do next. Tell us, what do you think? Is learning through reflecting on doing only good when acquiring new hands-on skills? Or is it also suitable to study science, math, the humanities, or abstract art?
Okay, it was all what I said, but then you might have understood the cycle or the steps during an experiential learning. That is, you do, you fail. You may not be perfect. So you redo, correct your mistakes. Sometimes you continuously fail but never lose hope, but you're learning at every stage. So that's what is experiential learning about. We have few people who have told or given different definitions for experiential learning. Just go through it. Next.
Arguably, the most
What is explanation? Okay, before I just tell you the other models, I just tell you about the methodology. That is how conventional methodology is being differentiated from the experiential learning. So our education model, I just told you, is a curricular inheritance based on prison and factory model, whereas experiential learning is a methodology where there is a shift in the paradigm from teacher being actively speaking or demonstrating to child being active, interactive, jovial learner. So this is a shift. expected through experiential learning. So another explanation would be just like making some static to kinesthetic mode, bringing the student from static to kinesthetic mode, allowing body to learn more by experience. We have to allow them to learn. When I say allow the body to learn, it would be very specific or very good for lower classes when they learn very small things like hot, cold, very hot, warm. See, cold and hot, children observe and say. If the vapors are coming out of a glass of water, they say it's very hot, will not touch it. They sense it. See, everything I just showed that video, I did say when we experience, through experience, our brain does a lot of exercise and learns better. So when there is a steam coming out, the child doesn't touch it. He knows that. Some of them will not be able to at certain age. Until they experience, they don't even get to know that it's hot. They touch it, their hands get burnt, and then they realize that this was very hot. So, and that terminology also somebody has to tell them. It depends on their intelligence. Anyways, even the cold. You know, when we bring a cold water or ice cold water in a glass, you have seen, children can make out cause of the vapors formed around the tumbler, right? They can. But what about warm and not very cold? So we can make them sense it, and then we can just convey those words to them very clearly. What do we mean by warm? What do we mean by? And also the taste and smells also. I mean, odor and taste. Also, you know the types, and you can get them a sweeter one, a sugar and certain tasting different, like a spicy thing or a salty thing. They should be able to distinguish between these. So that would be something like they experience and learn. So that would add to making them their body learn it for a long time attention. Next. So next, what is experiential learning according to the next slide? Educationalists. So according to John Dewey, who is a father of experiential learning, the quality of experience is very important. So it may be negative or positive. The child will reflect on it, but quality is important. Concrete to abstract. That is when you are teaching in the class or a concept has to be taught, it should relate to it. It should be relatable to the student especially. It should link to the life context. Children being active. This is what Gandhiji's 9th Talim says. Then we have Rabindranath Tagore who says that connection, it should be connected to art and nature. So the students will learn better. And then we have Sri Aurobindo who says holistic learning with the physical, vital, mental, spiritual and psychic aspects should be included in learning. Last one is by J. Krishnamurti who says development of questioning spirit. The child should inculcate, or the experience he gets should inculcate questioning spirit in the child. So I see that most of them are, that I just go fast. Next, it is about exactly what do you mean. Next slide please. So we have already discussed about the cycle or steps of learning. So you yourself know now. See, the cycle was just first do it and see. For example, you have drawn. Then later you realize I could have drawn this also by seeing. I could have drawn that also. Or maybe when it was a recipe, you you might be thinking I could have added this. I forgot. I did that. So it's like you're learning better every time. So you see this video. It's boring. We'll just put it off and go ahead. Next.
Experiential learning. Aristotle said that the things we have to learn before we can do it. We learn by doing it. It's true then, it's true then. Experiential learning, put simply, is learning by doing it. Following the experiential learning model, designing instruction can help maximize our learners' understanding of important concepts. The experiential learning model consists of first doing, then reflecting on it, then applying what was learned to another situation. Then we repeat the cycle, each time adding difficulty or refining our skills. The experiential learning model consists of a 5-step cycle. Here it is right here. Step 1, experience. Experience the activity. This is learning by doing after all. Have your learner perform a task. Step 2, share. Describe the experience. Get your learners thinking about and talking about the results, the reactions, and sharing this publicly. Step 3, process. This is where you examine how the learning process works. Have your learners examine and discuss and analyze the experience, and then reflect on it. Step 4, generalize. Your learners need to be able to connect this experience to other real-world examples. Step 5, apply. Now your learners should be able to take what they learned from this experience and apply it to a similar or different situation. And when we apply something to a new situation, we get to experience the activity all over again. We find ourselves back at step 1, and the experiential learning cycle repeats itself. Experience, share, process, generalize, apply. It really works. Try it today. Get your learners doing, reflecting, applying, and then doing it. Thanks, and if you'd like to learn more, stop by Humber Center for Teaching and Learning.
Okay. Again, this is the same thing. This is not steps, but it's just a cycle that is you have to repeat it every time to make your learning better. So once you do and you leave it, then it won't help in learning more or learning perfect. You are imperfect, we all are imperfect, we learn better with repetitions. That's what the slide says. Okay, next. Okay, I want you people to be a little active again. So I just want you people to tell me what do you think are the benefits of learning by experience or experiential learning. Learning by doing. Anyone? Everyone.
They keep that remember for a long time.
Yes. Retention in memory.
Concept clear.
Concept becomes more clear. Yes.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
Students get
Yes, students get involved.
concentration.
More involved, that's what involved is they can focus more because they learn better by focusing on a particular thing when they are involved. So there are certain activities our school I have been seeing in last 2 years. Jane, one of the English teachers, including Gita ma'am, has done given a project on cooking where they had to actually plan, execute, and also I remember traditional dresses they had worn and walked in ran on in conference hall. So what eventually teaches you is first thing that cooking may you need. They learn that how you have to make groups first, teams are made, and the budget they look for, and they plan for what they want to prepare. Whatever they want to prepare, that would be like it was regional wise, isn't it? South India, North India, and also. So they get to know what are the food which different region people from different region eat or they consume. So they get to know that knowledge. They also calculate the budget. They also bring ingredients. First make a list of ingredients, bring it, prepare it, execute it. Along with that, we can also tell them to see the nutritional content on whatever ingredients they bring, expiry date, to how they get to know for how many days we can keep a particular thing. Maybe rava, many of them might not be knowing for how much time we can keep it in what weather. So all these things they'll remember better. They do remember these as sweet memories. They will remember because they have actually enjoyed doing this. Am I right? They've enjoyed calling this, asking marketing, how can we forget? They marketed it so well. Every time they used to bring and call you, isn't it? Call you to have it. So it was like they also have learned a lot. And as teachers, I think such activities adds to your experience and knowledge. A lot. They have learned, you can say it's a kind of vocational course. So they could connect their work culture with the study culture. So it was a kind of bridging. And even when they wore traditional wear and what they know the culture, they speak, they give introduction about that region, that dress and everything. Somewhere they've worn it, their body has felt it. So they'll remember it for a long time. They'll remember that I had worn this for this activity. So So this is some examples which we got follow. So some more you can just see. Some like, is it possible? SME question like, is it possible for us every day whether we can follow experiential learning for every other topic? So we have some. Let's see. So these were the benefits. Just to cover up, it was like increasing effectiveness of learning as it is immersive. That is, immersive is inculcated. So that is, students are completely involved, right? And then develop competencies. So when you discuss with other group, you tend to develop competency. उसका बेहतर हो, देखो उसका sale अच्छा हो. He's sold his food items better than me. Where do I go wrong? So how can I improve? You work on it. Then it is practical application of theoretical knowledge. Yeah, you are practically applying what you have heard theoretically from the teacher. Then developing skills of creativity, critical thinking, and collaboration. That is teamwork. Then you relate. We relate the topic to the child. So it's more related to the life and experience. Makes learning relatable to life and experience. Improves personality development and communication. These are just points. You can add many more. Next is that how do we plan for an experiential learning class? So there are simple, easy techniques which we make, like paper planes. I think that we have we had a in-house webinars wherein we all have seen how they make paper planes. Rickshaws, yes. Drawing, lab experiments, sensorial activities like touch, smell, taste, etc. brings, so the experiential learning or the activities should be planned in such a way that it should bring different skills out of them. Like teamwork is one of the skills. They can become more creative with their hands. Also, they learn something new. Okay. Then it should be related to child's context, playful, creative, connected to different disciplines, simple to complex, integration of mindfulness to the curriculum. Why I'm running is next topic. I can connect these topics with the next slide. Okay, next slide. So, what should be the methodology or the steps for an experiential learning? Do we lesson plan for in the regular B.Ed we used to do that, objectives, knowledge, and all those things. Remember, lesson plan. So for this we have lesson plan, something like this. You start with a starter activity. The starter activity may be very, very simple. Like I gave you to draw, something like that, which is slightly connected to the main topic. Then you plan for a main topic which is really has to be taught, which is the main thing to be taught. The topic to be taught should be related. Then overall reflection. That is, if you make them do in group, they all come together. They reflect on their positive and negative sides, both of them. So this is about starter activity. One example, like so we just told it should be real life connection, and just like I told you, we are all good cooks because we have been experiencing and we wrote in different methodologies, different recipes. Then methodologies make sure that every child is kept active, interactive, which will promote group bonding. Yes, content should be related to topic. Next. Okay, I think it's too very small to understand, but these are also some of the activities which I know for sure you would also plan if you think, like for identifying geometrical objects. Like we have cone, how do we actually make, ma'am has taken formulas for a square plus b square, a, even now we don't remember, but to make them remember, I see now CBSE schools have such innovative ideas. I remember you making them cubes. This is a square, this is a cube and all those. So they stick it and they learn it by those structural models. So we can give, initially for lower class it can be just shape. Triangle looks like this, cube looks like this, square looks like this. So that would be enough. As gradually they come to the higher classes, we can show them 3D models. Next, again when they come to the secondary level, we can show them how to calculate the surface area, how to calculate the area. And so only two-dimensional just surface area. The three-dimensional volume, area, everything can be, we can make them calculate. Give them scale, give them all the facilities, give them a shape, structure, 3D model, a triangle, cuboid. Ask them to calculate the length, ask them to calculate the breadth, ask them to calculate the height. You can actually make them learn better when they do it through these models. And we have these are all simple activities like smelling different things. Group activity, it is preparing a recipe and like that which I just told, which last 2 batches have been doing cooking, but that so many things are added to it. Just not cooking, it is everything a child should know, starting from budgeting, planning, execution and calculating the profit and loss. So all the subjects are integrated there. Math, science, SST, everything. SST because region-wise they did cook the food. So all the subjects were integrated in that activity. Last was like it's a chemistry activity, burning different chemical substances. So when they burn different chemical substances, they understand that it is made up of different types of atoms and molecules. Why do they burn differently? Why do they give different colors on burning? So it's a good activity. Next slide. Some of the projects which can be given is pollution, junk food, festivals of India, crops. So how can we plan? Somebody can, actually I wanted to ask, I never thought it would take such long time. But now I think I directly showed slides. You know that pollution ke liye we can make the children actually go to that place and be a part of the problem. And then they can also make a street play on pollution to create awareness. On next slide. So collecting info about the pollution rate and the causes in their region, awareness rally, street play, junk food. So when we say a junk food, it's a negative word. So let's make it positive by making them do a nutritional food. So if they can prepare a nutritional food, so it's always comparative and more understanding. So that's one topic. Then festivals of India, they can perform different dance forms, region-wise, and they can learn better. Enacting also with that attire and crops, that is making a vegetable garden, can help them learn what is a crop. Crop is nothing but same type of plant grown in a large area. So they do understand certain things, how all the agricultural practices, they understand what the farmer does throughout the year. So, then what is the role of teacher? सब कुछ बच्चे ही कर रहे हैं, everything student is doing, what does the teacher do? So I wanted to add those which our teachers already have completed, maybe like vocational course or it was about value education, where they already told the teacher as a facilitator. Teacher just poses the problem. Doesn't mean teacher is a problem, but she just poses a problem that she tells them, what should we do in this case? Yes, if pollution is there in the area, what are we supposed to do? If you were a municipal corporator, what would you do? If there is water pollution, if everybody is throwing plastics over there in the river, what would you do? So you just pose problems, okay, and then give them boundaries. क्या नहीं करना है, what you should not do, otherwise they do everything possible. Set the boundaries, what you are not supposed to do and what you are supposed to do. And don't tell them, give them hint what you are supposed to do. What you are not supposed to do is very important. Support learners, so you just be a supporter, so that their safety is very important. If I take them to the practical lab, I make sure acid they are handling, I tell them this is very safe. Whenever the word acid, they are very careful. Else also, because students are all hot-blooded nowadays, so they tend to try out very naughty things, mischievous things. They put chuck into the acid, see the carbon dioxide coming out, it comes like a volcano. They just love doing that. So we have to tell them, set the boundaries. Also, keep them in a safer physical and emotional safety. So let us keep facilitating them during the learning process. So teacher has only this role. So basically, we have been spoon feeding them everything, notes se leke every question answer, everything we tell them. So when NEP 2020 comes into existence, teachers teach in a different way. Children learn by themselves, and we just guide them. Rather, knowledge for a teacher is very important. Then only she can correct. So this is the last slide. So you'll be very happy. I see when I see somebody, I know I don't think I'm very boring, but I know that you laugh to Okay, I just want to tell you a story, a small story. Can I? A story is like a king in his kingdom. So a person from some other place wants to visit that kingdom. He comes to the king's court. He says he wants to meet the king. The king willingly meets that person who comes from a different place. He says, I want to visit your place. I want to know more about your place. So he orders a few soldiers to take him to his place. They all move around his place. He sees everything. He comes back to report to the king. How was his day? So king asks, what do you feel? What was your experience? How did you feel? So he says, I saw everything. Everything is good. You don't have mango in your place. So king is like, what is mango? It is king of fruits. You don't know about mango? It is king of fruits. It's so tasty, you won't believe. So he says, is it? So we should have it in our place also. So he says, I'll give you land, all those money you require. Make sure you grow these trees for me. He says, yeah, I accept it with a condition. Until and unless I am done with my project, nobody should disturb me. Nobody should come in between and ask what I have done, where I have reached. The king agrees to it, and then the process starts. So years passed, he didn't come, and king suddenly realizes that it's been years. This fellow didn't come back. He didn't report me. Has he just taken away the money and ran away? And he didn't come back, so he was in a doubt. So what he does is he sends his one of the soldiers to see what is happening that side, which he had donated to that person. So the soldier goes there. He sees mango trees around with green unripe mangoes over there. So he eats. He eats it and he finds it not so tasty, sour and not at all good. So he comes back and he reports to the king. Fruit was not at all good. He just lied you. It is not good. It cannot be called as king of mango. It is not at all tasty. Then it was like he leaves it. He says that let us see. He might call us after some time. He waits for some time. In just few months, he himself, that person himself, comes back with a lot of mangoes. He carries in the cart and distributes it to all the people in the court. And Raja himself eats it and he says, wow, what a fruit. It's really very tasty and it's actually should be called as the king of fruit. And now tell me whether the reflection, whose reflection is correct. What experience, both of them had two different experiences, isn't it? The soldier, he calls the soldier and asks him, why did you lie to me? It's such a tasty fruit. You told it's kind of sour, not so good at appearance also, not so tasty. So what goes wrong in this experience? Last end. Somebody tell me what? Is he wrong? Is somebody wrong here? Criteria object. Yes. So everybody is right in their own way. Every child needs time to learn. So child, you cannot expect a child to learn as soon as you teach or as soon as you deliver. Every child, and at different time or point of time we evaluate the child. So whatever his experience, he will write in his exams. In the sense, he will express himself as. So both had experience, they were true to their experience, but then he could have given some time, the right time to experience would give you better results. So we learn from mistakes, we learn. At some point, we are more fruitful. That's what I just want to conclude by saying that literacy in itself is no education. Just being literate is not just education. By education I mean an all-round drawing out of the best in child and man, body, mind, spirit, by Mahatma Gandhi. Thank you all.